Jerry Wilobo has been on remand at Luzila prison since November last year on charges of defilement. Wilobo is deaf. For the last 5 months, Wilobo's case has been coming up for hearing in Buganda Road Court via video conference, but on all appearances, the case has been adjourned. His lawyer Timothy Egwalu, who is also partially deaf, says the case is adjourned because of the absence of a sign language interpreter for his client.
The accused appears via video link with a microphone in front of him. The accused is deaf without speech. They put the microphone in front of him, the speaker is there, but he can't hear. No interpreter in court.
Egwalu says he has been forced to reach out to various organizations that cater for people living with disabilities to seek an interpreter for Wilobo.
I was called by Mr. Timothy to come in and help in interpretation services. That's why I had to come today to give in my help.
Both Tuisabe and Egwalu agree that it should be the court's responsibility to provide a sign language interpreter.
The system is like, it is repugnant, very old. They should change the system so that it can accommodate the people.
If you're to translate in other languages, they can provide the translators. Why can't they provide a sign language interpreter?
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many court sessions are being held remotely using video conferencing. In a situation like this, prison spokesperson Frank Baine says it's still up to the judiciary to provide interpreters in prison.
The responsibility of prisons is presenting the prisoner. And that's where for us our jurisdiction stops. Interpretation, translation, representation, that is a function of court. Fortunately, we have some staff who have been trained in sign language. So we bank on them to guide the prisoners while in custody.
Judiciary spokesperson Solomon Muyita has acknowledged this gap in the justice system. He also points out that many of the judiciary's operations were affected by the restrictions occasioned by the COVID-19 outbreak.
We should remember that not so long ago, many cases could not proceed. Hearing of many cases could not proceed in various courts because we had restrictions.
Muyita says the judiciary is committed to providing interpretation services for the deaf.
But we work around the clock to make sure that we have these people the next time these matters come back.
According to prison spokesperson Frank Baine, there are currently 40 prisoners with disabilities within the system. Of these, 5 are deaf, 3 are blind, and 32 are physically disabled. Joyce Nakato, NTV Weekend Edition.